If you could talk through your system's core capabilities around care planning, that would be great. But also please bear in mind just to leave some time for questions and answers. And the other thing to say is we are recording this session. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, of course.
Brilliant. Then I will hand over to you, Warren. Over to you.
Thank you very much. So hello, everybody. I know everybody can't say hello at the same time. My name is Warren. I'm an account executive at Log My Care. Just a bit of a background on Log My Care, I suppose, before we dive into anything else in terms of the system and its capabilities. So I'm sure, as everyone's aware, we're a digital care management platform that effectively offers a sort of intuitive solution to removing the need for paper or ad hoc systems in a simple but effective way, I guess. So we've been established for around 6 years now. We work with over 1,000 care providers across the country from all different backgrounds. We don't necessarily focus primarily on any type of service. We cater to all sorts of services such as LD, elderly, residential, care homes, complex care, case management, domiciliary care, etc. And yeah, as I mentioned, I guess our main aim here is to make digital care management available to everybody, just really opening up that sort of accessibility to all types of services, and of course, removing the need for excessive admin, and yeah, improving the records and reporting, leaving more time for that all-important care to be delivered. So I guess from our point, in terms of what we do as a system and how we do it, we have two sides to our system. We have a care app and a care office. Now, the care app is essentially what your carers will use to log their daily notes and do their daily sort of activities, whether that be looking at care plans, updating body maps, looking at reporting metrics through charts or different types of analysts available on the system. And the care office itself is where management / admin will have full control and be able to see all of that happen in real time. So let's say, for instance, a daily note is made as an overview on the care office. You'll be able to see all of that in real time as soon as it syncs. And to touch on that as well, we also have offline mode. So if you, for any reason, lose your connection or the internet drops, for instance, for an X amount of time, then as soon as that connection is restored, all of that will automatically sync over as well. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to demo our care office, which is where the management sort of will control everything from that side. We do obviously provide a full in-depth demo of the care app, but I'm conscious of time and obviously questions after that. So I'm sure once this is finished, if anybody's interested in looking into the care app and actually doing a full-scale demo, I'm more than happy to book in some time for that to happen. And I'm sure the guys, Bob, will be happy to, share details on that later on. Now, I'm going to share my screen here. I think I've got the ability to do so. Yes. Bear with me one moment. So, I don't seem to have the ability to share my screen. Not quite sure.
Have you got the option, or is it just not, you haven't got the option to share your screen, Ryan?
The actual share option's locked on my side.
Locked. Okay.
Yes.
Shouldn't be. Would it be worth? Yeah. Would it be worth going out and coming back in again, Warren? Do you think?
Yeah. I can definitely try that. Give me 2 moments and I'll rejoin.
Okay. Thank you.
I think it's definitely a setting on his side.
Okay. Hi, Warren. You're on mute, Warren.
Apologies. Yeah, really not sure what's going on here, but it's not offering me the ability to share at all. It's completely locked.
Okay.
Ah, now I can. It just, yeah, somebody's made me a presenter. Perfect. So, here we go. Everybody see my screen here?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So this is our care office homepage. Just before we get into this, a bit onto the actual app itself as well. I know I'm not demoing it fully today, but for a bit of sort of additional context, you can download the app to any smart device, being handheld device, if you like. So a mobile phone, a tablet of any sort of make or model. We work both on Apple and Android as well, so they both can be downloaded either side. And the care office itself can be accessed through a web browser as such, and that can be on any device, whether it's a computer, a laptop, a mobile phone. As long as you've got a solid internet connection, you'll have access to the office from anywhere. So I know a lot of managers are on the go, especially if there's multiple sites within that service. So you can, yeah, definitely access that at any point as well. So on this homepage here, this is the layout you'll see throughout each site if you've got multiple, and you have your residents here. And again, all of these headings here can be adjusted slightly dependent on the terminology that you use within your service. So you'll have your list of residents here in alphabetical order, or you can choose it to be numerical order if you put them in zones. And on the next slide here, you can see alerts. So the alerts here are for incidents. So as you can see at 2:30, there was an incident for Bill, which was a fall. And this will flag up not only here, but it will also send notifications to the devices that you're logged into as well, if you're marked down as a management or admin. You can see which team members have been active in the last 12 hours here. You can see your to-dos. So these are tasks that have been scheduled for the day. So this is how many have been completed, skipped, pending, or are overdue. You can also see how many logs have been recorded today as well. We have care plans here. So this is care plan updates. So you can see how many are due to be updated today, how many are due to be updated this week, and how many are actually overdue. You can also see the percentage of care plans that have been completed. And then we go onto the medication side. So here we can see the EMA. So you can see the round time. You can see the status of the round time, whether the medication's been signed and administered. And you can also see what's not been administered and how many PRNs are on that round time. Now, all of these can be clicked into for further information as well. We can also see offers. So we have things such as additional extras for the modules. We have our family portals and EMA. So the EMA is, of course, electronic medication, and the family portal is where you have the ability to share daily notes, logs, pictures with family members that may want to get those daily updates in a digital format. You can also see our product roadmap as well. So as we develop everything in-house, solely via our own team, everything that we develop is based on the feedback that we receive from our current providers. So on the roadmap, you can actually request features, and you can request for things to be sort of added into the system functionality, and that can be voted against by other providers as well. And then we'll add that to our roadmap and we'll start to develop it. And you can also see what we've developed in the past compared to what's been requested. You can also see birthdays here. So we can see out of our service users and team members whose birthdays are coming up. And we've always got a few little perks going on as well. So if I go to team member up here at the top left, we can see here that this is where the staff members live. So you can invite a team member to this system really easily from here. Click team member, you'd enter their name, their last name, their email, select their level of access, and then invite the team member. This will invite the member to create their credentials. You can also resend invites from here. We can see the role, the email address, how many logs, different permissions, and personal details such as date of birth and start dates, emergency contacts as such. We can also edit each and every profile as well once it's been made. Add in a picture here. We can change passwords and pins for quick and easy password changes. We can also change the status to active and inactive. If somebody's on annual leave, for instance, we can make the account inactive so it can't be accessed. Each and every staff member also has their own document section as well. So if you go to the document section here, you can upload any type of document here, whether it be a Word document, a PDF, and we offer unlimited storage of our system as well. So just on that, in terms of actually downloading stuff in the system itself, we do store your data indefinitely. That's until you tell us not to, and all of the data is stored on a cloud base as well. We use Amazon's Web Services Cloud, which again, in terms of security, we are Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus protected. We're encrypted to 256 bits, so we're at the highest industry standard we possibly can be for cyber security purposes. Again, so you feel free to upload as many documents in here as you'd like. That's per staff member as well that has their own document section. Now, if we go over to residents here, as I said, we can also change this to supported persons, clients, service users. It's completely optional based on the terminology that you use within your service. So each service user has their own profile, of course. Just to start off here, we have a hospital passport. Now, this is downloadable in a PDF format, and what this will include is care plans, risk assessments, medication, medical history, anything that a health professional in sort of any health setting may need to know about this service user will all be downloaded as a click of a button here. Now, this can either be emailed across to the hospital admin, as some people do, or you can also download this, print it off, and it can be given to the health professional if, let's say, for instance, an ambulance was called. Now, each profile will consist of all of the service users' details, such as date of birth, their actual status within the system, if they've got any zones, and of course, any DNA CPRs, LPSs or allergies. They will have note sections, personal detail sections, care-related info. We have full sort of consent and capacity forms as well available, which are pre-filled and can be fully customized. And then we've also got a little section on important people and relations. Now, if I go into edit profile here, we can see that everything on here can be customized, and you can also, as I said, change the status from active. Now, we only charge per active service user. So if they're anything other than active, so if they're hospitalized, for instance, then if you just make that hospitalized on here and the status will change, it will automatically update and you won't be charged for that user until they come back to active, sorry. Now, you can also zone them. So if you've got a care home setting, for instance, and you want to zone maybe floor 1, 2, and 3, you could do that, and then you could assign specific service users to zones. You can also assign to carers. So we can assign to all carers if we want full visibility, or we can assign to specific carers if it's if the skills match the need. Now, if I go to the About Me section here, so the About Me section is really sort of leaning in on being sort of the people-centered care. So what is important to me, people who are important to me, how I communicate and how to communicate with me, my wellness, do's and don'ts, and again, how and when to support me, and also worth knowing about me. This came with our recent PRSB accreditation as well. So yeah, we are accredited for this side of it. You can see the history of it all as well. And again, you can export it as a PDF. Everything on the system is downloadable in terms of PDF or CSV. And that's all of your data. You have access to it at all times. We don't sort of withhold any data. And if you need sort of a full platform-wide export, we will offer that for you as well, free of charge. Now, when we look at daily logs here, if I move over to Charlie and we want to know how many logs have been made today, you can see the logs that have been made for Charlie today. And again, if I go back to yesterday and we just want to know yesterday's, these are all of the logs that were made for Charlie yesterday. So you can actually single out any day or create a sort of report on here by picking different dates, and you can download it. Or if you simply just want to know maybe for handover purposes or what happened in Charlie's day today, you can select that quite easily from here and see it all. Now, if I go into charts, we've got charts for numerous different things, such as mobility, behavior charts, excuse me, mood charts, malnutrition charts, temperature charts, weight charts. There's all sorts of different ones on here. If I go into mood, for instance, and I change, I'm just going to take the date back to, let's say, August. So we've got a nice few months in here. You can see on a chart basis of how Charlie's mood has actually fluctuated. Now, this again is great for reporting and spotting trends throughout. You can also scroll down to the bottom and see the logs that are attached. Again, this can be downloaded as well from a click of a button here. Each resident also has their own document section. Again, if we go over to care plans here, we have, I think it's around 55, no, it's around 55 pre-made assessments, whether that's care plans or risk assessments, sorry, pre-made templates, where you can go into them, you can input your own details and you can edit them, or you can create your own from blank templates. Now, for instance, when we look at Charlie's care plan here, we can download the whole care plan via a PDF, or we can click into the individual subsections and download those singly as well. We can also add multiple care plans from here. And if we scroll to the bottom, we can see the ones that have no further support required. So necessarily, we don't delete care plans from the system. We archive them, of course, because it's essential to have that history, but you can also see the history inside of existing ones as well. So if I go to Gilly here and we look into choice and communication, we can see the risk assessments that are attached inside of this part of the care plan. We can also click into this. We can see the last review date, time, and who by. We can see any additional comments that have been added. Again, as I said, we can see the history of this care plan by clicking here and looking back at any changes that have been made. We can download this singularly as well. We can see Gilly's outcomes, her strengths, the needs, the risk assessments, also where these risk assessments live in other care plans as well, which essentially stops the duplication of work in multiple risk assessments. We can see the actions, and any supporting documents would show here. We can also see the next review date and whether Gilly is signed or not. Now, of course, if capacity or consent is not there to be signed, then we have the forms for that as well. If we review the care plan, you can see that you can edit almost everything on here, from the title to the outcomes, the strengths, the needs. You can add, again, multiple risk assessments or remove them, edit the actions, and also you can add additional comments for a review as well. So if we wanted to add any additional comments and then review it in a week's time, click save here, and that will be shown to the next review, and the comments will show here, and you can see that I've just reviewed this care plan. Now, if we go into a risk assessment here, let's go into communication risk. So again, same format as the care plans. You can see the history, you can download it, see where it lives and who's the last person to update this. You get to see what the risk is, who might be harmed, the risk calculation, the outcome, and the actions to mitigate this risk. Now, if I click edit, we can attach this to multiple care plans as mentioned, or we can add, of course, a lot more information than what's here. We can also do the risk calculation. So we worked with Care UK, I think for a good couple of months, trying to find out what the best way to do a risk calculation was across the board in terms of every different type of service. And we ended up landing on something such as this, where it's on a 1 to 5 scale of how likely is this risk to happen, times by a 1 to 5 scale of how severe would it be if this risk did happen, which will then generate your outcome for you. And the second way that we do it is on a tick box exercise where you select the relevant answers and that will generate an outcome automatically for you. If we go over to medication here and we go into the Mar chart, we'll go over to builds here. There we go. So when we run the medication, this is a separate module, for instance, to the main pro module that we offer. Now, I won't spend too much time on this. Again, as I mentioned, we can do individual demonstrations to this because it can get quite extensive in terms of its functionality. But just as a quick brief overview, you can see here that these are the medications that are attached to Charlie's Mar chart here. Now, we can view this as a medication list only, just to see the medications, or again, we can view it as a full Mar chart. We can change the date range here to look back. And again, you can see this is the medication hour time. This is the medication dosage, and these are the dates that this medication would have been administered. So if we go back, I'm going to really show myself up now on my test time with no medication being administered. So we can see here that the medication was administered. We can see who by and at what time. And if we click into this, this will actually pull us through to the initial log that was made when that medication was administered as well. We're connected to the NHS database. So we've got, I think there's like 70,000 medications on there for you to pick from. And again, it's as simple as clicking add medication here, searching the medication, and it will show you, it even tells you sort of what brand the medication is as well. And then of course you'd go through to the administration route. Now, if we move away from medication and go into consent, we also have consent and capacity forms here. So these are the different types. Now you can create consent and capacity forms from almost anything, of course, but the ones that we have, you can create a custom entry from here. And again, it gives you the blank template. Or we can go into, for instance, a COVID testing one, and you can see here that it's pre-written for you. Now this can be edited as well, of course, and you can review it just as a care plan and get it signed. Now, if I go over to logs at the top here, this is essentially where mass reporting can be done, or auditing, for instance. Now, let's just say, as an example, if I wanted to know how many incidents that I've logged with Bill, and we'll take it back some time as well. So let's say from November to now, and it was logged by me. This is going to show every single incident log that I've made with Bill in that date range, and I can click export and download that instantly. So any information you need on our system is accessible by literally the click of a few buttons. We can also even break that down to what kind of incident. So let's just say I want to know falls. This is only going to show me the falls that Bill's had in the last 4 months, for instance. We can do this with multiple users in multiple categories for multiple items. Now, we have 8 categories here that we log by. All 8 categories are effectively what we've dissected from what the CQC requires to be recorded, and they're broken down into subcategories within, which we'll be able to look at in further detail on a more sort of extensive demo as well. I'm slightly conscious of time here, so I'm going to jump into reporting. Now, we've got COVID monitoring tool. We have fluid and food overviews. We've got incident overviews, which is a great one. Now, you can see the incidents per month here, and you can actually break that down to what incidents. And if you scroll to the bottom, you can see a full breakdown. Or we could actually stack this chart, hover over it and see, well, there was 22 injuries here, 9 illnesses and 5 falls, for instance. We've got handovers, so we can see the current handovers here. Now, incidents are automatically going to flag for handover for obvious reasons. We can see handover history, so we can see the last handover that was done, and we can see what was involved in that handover. You can do general handovers, or you can do log-specific handovers. We can see care plans, so we can actually see what the care plan is and when it's, how long it's overdue, and what's due to come up next, what's due today, and what's due in the next 7 days. Email reports, so we have medication rounds, stock discrepancy reports, stock level reports. As with our email system, we have a full running stock system as well. We have what we like to call the CQI, which is effectively based on the CQC's CLOEs. So how you're performing in usage of a digital system, so safe, effective, care and responsive and well led. So average active daily carers, instance recorded, how many to-dos have been missed, so how many signed care plans you have. Again, residents note sections, personal details, care plans complete, residents of end of life care plans, and well led, so staff with profile pictures and care plans reviewed. We also have a care delivery report as well, which enables you to see, out of all of the things that are possible to log under, how many of those logs have been made per resident as well on your list. Now, just before I wrap up here with the actual demo, if we go into the settings here and go to preferences, this is where you can choose to turn on or off your GPS location. So this will tag each and every log with a location, for instance, or you can change your preferred terms. Again, change your residence list or any app privacy, change medication round times from here. And we can also change the log options. So if there was anything on there that you didn't log under, let's say if we go into clinical care, for instance, and we don't do peg feeds, we can turn this off, click save, and that will remove the ability to actually log under a peg feed there. Now, I know that was really brief, guys, and it's, not so in detail with the care app as well, but that's pretty much the care office from our side. Does anybody have any questions, or do we have any further sort of discovery to be done on that?
Thank you, Warren. Yeah, I appreciate it's a short amount of time, but yeah, that's a really comprehensive demonstration. Thank you very much. I think it's given us a really good overview of your solution. Couple of questions. Obviously, if anyone's got anything they want to put in a chat or put up your hand, please do so. One question is around your pricing model. Are you able to share that with us?
Yeah, of course. So our pricing model is we're extremely transparent with everything in regards to pricing. All we price is per service user. Our pricing is available on our website. We offer onboarding, training, and initial implementation for free. We don't charge for it. There's around 3 to 4 or 3 to 5 calls, should I say, that you can have with our customer success team, which will help you on board. They'll give you the necessary training, and they'll help you with the implementation as well. To be honest, there's not much more to our pricing model. We don't have any hidden cost. Your storage is free. Everything's inclusive of that per service user price.
Okay. Could you give us an idea of a price?
So it fluctuates depending on how many users you have. If anybody does need to actually check compared to how many users they have the price, you can see that on our website with a sliding scale.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking, I'll ask the question, say no if you can't answer it. So if we say 25 bed user care home, what an indicative price would be for that?
Okay, bear with me one moment. I can actually get that for you. So if we're looking at 25 bed on our Pro module, we are looking at, sorry, bear with me one moment.
That's all right.
We're looking around £8 a service user, excluding VAT, of course. Yeah,
perfect. Thank you. Yeah, it's just to give us some idea of an indicative cost. Thank you. And training. So you mentioned, I think you said training's part of the implementation, and there's no costs involved with the implementation, onboarding or training. Does your solution got sort of training modules in it as well? So if someone wants to have, brilliant. Okay.
So we have a fully comprehensive what we like to call support library that's full of loads of step-by-step logs on how to do it, videos, hundreds of videos, and of course we have 24/7 support available with our support team as well. Now I know most people think, well, chat support's a robot. It's not. It's a real member of our team 24/7, 7 days a week, and that's not only for management and admin, that's also for staff members as well, to stop the sort of let's go to the management and ask them everything. You can just come directly to us and we'll give you the support that's needed.
Brilliant, thank you. Ranjit's asked Dom Care ? So is your solution sort of appropriate or applicable for domiciliary care providers?
So we have quite a large number of our user base is Dom Care. Now we don't have, from some of the questions I can see in there, we don't have a scheduling tool or invoicing or payroll. But what typically happens is with our system, it's usually run side by side with a rostering or a schedule tool. It is something that's on our roadmap, which can be seen for our website as well. So yeah, look out for that.
Okay. So on that note, I guess it's around integration. So do you integrate quite easily? Do you have open APIs that integrate with, like you say, payroll systems, HR, those kind of things?
Yeah, we're fully open to that as well. Any integration, we're more than happy to look into it. As everything is developed in-house for us, we have full control over our integrations and how that's done.
All right, brilliant. Thank you. I think, like you said, you've seen all those questions, so that I think that's answered everything. Thank you very much. Dharmesh, is there anything you wanted to ask?
I don't think so. No, that was really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Warren. I think you did. Thank you very much. And sorry about the technical hitch. Sorry, Najim's got his hand up. Apologies. Have you got a minute just so Najim can ask a question?
Of course.
Sorry, I don't know if you see my text message. I'm asking if your system is compatible with domiciliary care. Do you do invoicing, payroll, compliance?
So, sorry, go on.
That's it.
Oh yeah, so we are compatible with dom care companies. As I did mention, we have quite a large user base of dom care providers. We don't unfortunately offer invoicing or payroll at the moment. It is something that we're looking at, but yeah, as of so forth, we tend to work side by side with an invoicing or payroll company.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Najim. Thank you very much, Warren. We'll let you go. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.